This is ABC 7 News at 6.
President Trump's plan to reduce the federal workforce by providing large severance buyouts is facing sharp criticism from some Maine labor unions. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones.
And I'm Devin Dagnall. Union leaders have warned their members to be cautious in considering such offers. Our Augusta reporter Corey Bouchard has the story.
Well, the Trump administration is not authorized to do this. This is illegal.
Andy O'Brien is the communications director for Maine AFL-CIO, one of the state's largest workers' union. He's talking about the emails sent out to millions of federal employees, giving them an option to resign and continue being paid through September, with some exceptions for military personnel, postal workers, immigration enforcement, or national security employees.
Really, this is just an effort to push out, 2 million employees in federal government who they want to replace with loyalists.
O'Brien says he doesn't think this was solely the president's idea.
And these memos that have gone out have Elon Musk's fingerprints all over them. They're very similar to what he sent out to employees at Twitter before.
O'Brien encouraged all employees that received the memos to be cautious and talk to their union representative before making any decision, because the grass isn't always greener on the other side of the fence.
The funding for the agency or department is guaranteed only through March 14th. And so the government is expected to shut down unless the debt ceiling is lifted. So, if any commitment for additional pay is worthless at this point.
In a statement, a representative for the American Federation of Government Employees said that the resignations, quote, will have vast, unintended consequences that will cause chaos for Americans who depend on a functioning federal government, end quote. In Augusta, I'm Corey Bouchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, in light of the recent tragedy that happened in D.C. earlier this week, we reached out to a local expert to learn more about how first responders prepare for mass casualty events. Dr. Norm Dinerman is currently practicing medicine at Northern Light Eastern Maine Medical Center in Bangor, but has played a key role in preparing first responders and medical staff for mass casualty situations. He was an ER doctor in Denver during the Continental Airlines Flight 1713 crash. Dinerman says departments should rehearse for these situations, but most important is ensuring there is clear communication across all departments.
I think it was Senator Collins, in fact, a long time ago, who said, you don't want to be exchanging business cards at the time of the incident, at the time of the event. And so building relationships and then training, and investing in a very directed way in what you really need in terms of communications.
Dinerman states these events, as tragic as they are, do offer the opportunity for first responders to learn and improve their approach to every situation. Dinerman also reminds us that response to tragedies extends far beyond the emergency room or public safety departments.
These are nationally traumatic events. They're not local alone. They're nationally traumatic events, and they make each of us reflect upon, how we can help each other. So those are some of the better parts that come out of these things.
As the Trump administration continues to roll out new policies, some Maine residents are pushing back. Leaders from various organizations gathered in Bangor today to express their concerns over recent changes. Our Alex Schley has more.
It really is simply an egregious power grab.
Leaders from across Penobscot County came together Friday to voice their opposition to the Trump administration's policies, saying the changes could have a lasting impact on local communities.
It's just a real overreach and a haphazard approach to running our country.
The group gathered outside the federal building in Bangor, taking turns reading prepared statements outlining their concerns.
Now, there are a lot of groups of people in Maine that are really scared about what's going on.
Each speaker voiced a shared concern about the uncertainty created by Trump's recent decision regarding federal funding.
He wants complete control over the purse strings of Congress breaking our democratic government and the balance of power.
Megan Smith, the Bangor community organizer for Maine's People Alliance, the state's largest community action organization, spoke about the impact she says the uncertainty is having on the community.
Not knowing what programs are going to be available to people, I think has really sent a lot of fear in people that it could, if you rely on, a government program, it might not be there.
Protesters also call for Maine's federal elected officials to take action.
We, Indivisible Bangor, implore Senator Collins and King and Representative Golden to stop Trump's lawless actions in every way possible.
Organizers say they hope their message will spark more conversation among lawmakers and the public. In Bangor, I'm Alex Schley for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
A local nonprofit that supports sexual assault victims is getting a much-needed financial boost thanks to American Rescue Plan Act funding distributed by Penobscot County. $5,000 will go to Rape Response Services, a group that provides basic necessities and more for sexual violence survivors. The organization has been around for years, but they say they are seeing more and more survivors who need their help. They say donations can cover a wide range of needs, both long-term and immediate.
Oftentimes we're meeting survivors at the hospital where they're having forensic evidence collected. We're providing them advocacy and support services, and lots of times they need clothes to wear home when their own are collected for evidence, or they may need bedding, or they may not have a cell phone for us to reach out to them or for them to maintain their safety after they leave the hospital. So this type of fund, this funding helps us to provide those basic needs for survivors.
She says there can be multi-layered financial implications to sexual violence recovery, including impact to one's income and employment as survivors try to move forward and heal. Rape Response Services serves Penobscot and Piscataquis County, and they say donations are always welcome. We will have a link in this story on our website a little later this evening.
Senator Angus King is joining bipartisan legislation to lower child care costs and address the nationwide shortage of affordable child care. The Child Care Workforce and Facilities Act would provide competitive grants for states to train child care workers and build or renovate child care facilities. According to the governor's office, Maine has seen a 39% drop in the number of family child care providers since 2013, significantly affecting the most rural communities. In a statement, Senator King said, quote, "Affordable and accessible child care is one of the most pressing needs for working families in Maine and across the nation." He went on to say, when families have access to care, they are able to succeed both at home and in their professional careers, end quote.
Well, a few Holden residents' financial situation left them seemingly at a dead end when looking for heating assistance until the kindness of a familiar helping hand reached out. Our Doug Banks has the story.
It's very hard because they're here asking for help, and you have to tell them, "I'm sorry, I can't help you."
According to Smith, recently a few Holden residents who've previously used Penquis's Heating Assistance Program couldn't this year and came to her for help.
They're not qualified. They're over income.
According to Penquis's Home Energy Assistance Program Manager, Lynn Lugden, the program is income-based. Penquis receives around $5 million in funds from the Maine Housing Authority, and this year they've served around 8,500 households, with around 5,700 of those having their benefits received. Despite pandemic funding no longer available, Lugden says it hasn't changed their benefit qualifications. But Lugden does say that its Energy Crisis Intervention Program funds are lower than it's ever been, and their benefits are not going as far as it previously did.
If they come in and they get an emergency, we're doing 100 gallons, and then we're offering for them to go, for clients to go to either 211, the towns, churches, Salvation Army, to see if they can get help there.
Stuck in a difficult situation, Smith turned to her neighbor, the Holden Police Department.
Because I knew that probably we would be able to help them through the 25 days of kindness. Eddie makes the final decision, but we try to help as many people as we can.
People are struggling, and and sometimes it's hard to find the resources.
25 Days of Kindness began with late Holden Police Chief Chris Greeley and $300 out of his own pocket. 8 years later, the initiative helped heat the homes of those Holden residents who had nowhere else to go.
At this point, is pretty much who we are as a department. And when I took over, and it was one of the promises was to keep Chris Greeley's legacy alive, and that we put a lot of effort to keep our promise.
If it wasn't for this program, we wouldn't be able to help them either.
For information on heating assistance and other resources, visit this story on our website, foxbangor.com. In Holden, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
And with the temperatures being what they've been for the last couple of weeks, you certainly didn't want to be without heating resources in your home. That is for sure.
Absolutely not. So it's great that those families were able to get the help they needed.
Yeah.
Although it was from, a different source. I mean, just as long as people are staying warm, that's all that matters.
Absolutely. Alrighty, well, let's hit pause here, see what our temperatures are looking like with a first check of the forecast.
Thank you, Beth and Devin. Our first weather today is brought to you by Residential Roofing. For over 30 years, Residential Roofers specialize in metal and shingle roof replacements and repairs. Now they're more than just a roofing company. They're fully equipped to handle all your home building needs from the ground up. All right, so let's take a look out at that radar now. We had some snow earlier this morning in the eastern portion of the state. Here is that rain just south of the coast right now. Going into tonight, that precipitation will most likely be snow along the coast, even reaching into south central Maine for us tonight. So we will definitely be seeing some snow here in Bangor. Highs out there today, just a degree below freezing here, but lots of warmer temperatures by the coast in those mid to upper 30s. We see that in Rockland and Bar Harbor with their highs right around 37 degrees for today. Lots of mid 30s down to the southwestern portion of the state, and of course it was cooler up north, right around those low to mid 20s for your guys' highs today. Going into tonight, as you can see, snow will be in the area, and we'll see those temperatures steady right around the mid-teens, and going into those early morning hours, that's when we'll have decreasing clouds, and those lows will most likely drop into the upper single digits. Beth and Devin?
All right, thank you, Chase.
Coming up on ABC 7 News at 6, we'll be taking a look at more of your local headlines.
With moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, my skin was no longer mine.
My active psoriatic arthritis joint symptoms held me back.
Don't let symptoms define you. Emerge as you with clearer skin. With Tremfya, most people saw 100% clear skin that stayed clear, even at 5 years. Tremfya is proven to significantly reduce joint pain, stiffness, and swelling.
Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and TB. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine.
Emerge as you with clear skin. Ask your doctor about Tremfya.
Incoming dishes! Doc! Dawn Power Wash flies through 99% of grease and grime in half the time.
Yeah, it absorbs grease 5 times faster. Even replaces multiple cleaning products.
Ooh, those suds got game.
Dawn Power Wash, the better grease getter.
For 3 years in a row, Chevy has earned more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other brand.
1, 2, 3.
Whether it's a high-tech SUV, the all-electric Equinox EV, or a truck for work or play, Chevy is America's most awarded brand for new vehicle quality. Current Chevy owners can get $3,000 cash allowance on all 2024 Tahoe and Suburban models.
Visit your Maine Chevy dealers.
Does your dream kitchen look like this? Or this? Or maybe you need a little more inspiration. Get it when you explore the complete in-store showroom displays at Hammond Lumber Company. When you find the look you like, the Hammond team will help you customize it, including accurate 3D renderings, so you can visualize your project before the work begins. Hammond offers delivery from any of the locations across Maine and New Hampshire and professional service after the sale. Your dream kitchen begins when you bring your vision to Hammond Lumber Company.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Welcome back. A report from the University of Maine shows a decrease in the economic contribution from the snowmobile season. Our Callie Warren spoke with experts to learn more.
Maine's weather is typically unpredictable, but a consistent lack of winter snow and below freezing weather has led to a decline in one of Maine's most popular winter sports, snowmobiling.
Each winter, depending on the snow levels, changes the number of registrations, and that drives the economic impact.
Jessica Leahy is a professor at UMaine's School of Forest Resources and the lead author of Maine's Economic Contribution of Snowmobiling report.
When we get a lot of snow, that economic contribution goes way up. When there's a bad snow year, it goes way down. It's highly sensitive to the amount of snow we get.
A new update to the report shows that the 2023 to 2024 snowmobile season saw a massive economic decline compared to the previous year. The total contribution of snowmobiling to Maine's economy decreased by $128 million. In the 2018 to 2019 season, the estimated spending totaled the equivalent of $746 million. In 2022 and 2023, the contribution was around $710 million. Last season's economic contributions dropped to $582 million. Bangor Motorsports co-owner Luke McCannell says he's optimistic for the economy.
We had hoped and are hoping for more snow.
Anticipating more equipment sales in February.
We'd like to sell a few more, there is no doubt about it. And we think with a good February, maybe some good early snow here in the first part of February, we can kickstart that and finish off the season strong.
Callie Warren reporting for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Still to come on ABC 7 News at 6, Jack Webb is in with all of your local sports.
We've got an all-new game with a new way to play. It's Cash Pop from the Maine Lottery. You just pick one number from 1 to 15. If your number's drawn, you win. Just like that, with cash prizes up to $2,500 and 5 drawings every day. You gotta make it pop with Cash Pop.
For great Toyota offers not seen on TV, you could type buyatoyota.com into your browser, or you could simply scan this QR code and give your fingers a break. Buyatoyota.com, Toyota's official website for deals. Toyota, let's go places.
You come alive in the dead of winter and start work early on snow days, because snowed in is not an option. The Kubota Snow lineup of compact tractors, RTVs, and versatile attachments are built to move, plow, blow, and thrive in the winter. So when the snow falls, you could rise to meet it. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 84 months, plus save up to $300.
Available at Doors Equipment, 1468 Outer Hammond Street, Bangor.
Let Hellman's Bakery put a smile on your face with their tasty offerings of breads, baked beans, lasagna, tuche and turkey pies, fruit and cream pies, wedding and specialty cakes, pastries, and more. Hillman's, your hometown bakery, Fairfield.
16 counties in our state, Cumberland and Franklin, Piscataquis, Kennebec, Oxford and Muskegon. 2, 3, 4, Water, Washington, New York, Lincoln, Knox, and Hancock, Saginaw, and Somerset, Aroostook, and Penobscot.
Welcome back in, folks. It's one of the final Fridays of the regular season. We'll have you covered with all the highlights and scores from across the region. We'll start early tonight with the Ellsworth boys basketball team, who sits at 13-2, just a year after losing Mr. Basketball to graduation. They're this week's Hardwood Spotlight.
We have so much more heart, and I don't think anybody else wants it more than we do.
The Ellsworth boys basketball team can smell tournament time, and the team's 9 seniors are hungry for their last shot.
I mean, I think there's a different effect that you have senior year. You really dig in, you want to win so much more.
It's just like a different battle. You're trying to fight for your whole basketball career the last 4 years. You're trying to fight for it all and leave it all out there.
Heading into this year, there were some big shoes to fill, losing Mr. Maine basketball Chance Mercier to graduation, but sitting at 13-2 after Wednesday's win over John Bapst, I'd say they've adjusted just fine.
Everyone kind of starts to step up. Last year, we ran to a spot where we were just used to Chance scoring.
He was an amazing player. We
we watched him shoot a lot. He was a great player to watch.
It's fun to watch from my end, too.
Yeah, but we all knew that we needed to have bigger roles this year, but we kept the whole passing thing that we've done, and that's why it's always a different player every game that seems to be the leader.
The whole passing thing Dawson speaks of is the Eagles' ability to share the ball, which has been a key to their success.
It's way easier to score if you just move the ball, honestly. And we do a really good job with that because we don't have any selfish players on our team or any like superstars like we had in the past.
This year they don't know who to shut down because there's 6 or 7 of us, and you can't shut down one guy and shut down the whole team because other guys are going to step up and score their points that night.
The Eagles have found themselves in a number of tight games this year, which they believe will pay off down the road.
Past 3 years, we kind of been known to blow teams out by 20 or 30 every night, and then when we get into the close games, we don't know how to close them out, and a lot of the times that's why we lose. So having these close games is not necessarily a bad thing, even though at the time it seems it is if you're playing bad or whatever. But eventually that's going to help you in the gritty games at the Cross Center.
In case you missed it last night, the Mattanock wrestling team dominated the PVC tournament this past weekend. The Lynx won the team conference title along with 6 individual championships. Matt Lindsay was named the Coach of the Year. Just total domination from the team up in Lincoln. Here's what they had to say about their team's chemistry and how competition from the South had prepared them for competition up north.
They did really well this past weekend. What's special about them? They're goofballs. Honestly, they're an easy to get along with team. They know when to buckle down and work hard, but they're also able to have fun, and it keeps things interesting as a coach, you know.
I'd say traveling to all these like hard tournaments down Southern Maine and wrestling, especially out-of-state kids that are ranked in New England, that's really beneficial to us, and it really helps. It helped me out a lot.
That is all the time we have for sports. Here's Conrad Sapinski with your full 5-day forecast.
Thank you very much, Jack. As you can see, for highs today, just a degree below freezing here in Bangor. 31 is what we hit for those highs, and it was a lot warmer by the coast, especially in Bar Harbor and Rockland. Both of you guys right around 37 degrees for your highs today. We did see mid-30s in that southwestern portion of the state. And as we go up north a little bit cooler, we did see Presque Isle, the coldest up there, right around 20 degrees for your guys' highs this afternoon. Going into tonight, very cold temperatures up north. We can see lots of areas in the negative single digits. Here we will be possibly getting into those upper single digits for tonight, right around 10 degrees is what's showing Bangor at 6 a.m. We'll have decreasing cloud cover by then. You can kind of see that line where that front will be making its way through, cooling us off going into tomorrow afternoon, where we'll have mostly sunny skies, but we will still see cooler temperatures out there. The models are showing right around mid-teens. With the addition of the lots of sunshine for tomorrow, we should bump that high up to right around 20 degrees. Same for the coastal areas, maybe a little bit warmer, low to mid-20s is definitely a very good possibility, but tomorrow will still be a much cooler day up north. Looks like, mid to upper single digits, maybe getting close to 10 degrees in the northern portion of the state. Average high this time of year right around 28 degrees. We'll be below that for this weekend. We'll see low to mid-20s Saturday and Sunday, but then well above average going into Monday, getting close to 40 degrees then. That's why we'll have a little bit of chances of rain to come into our region as well. We do not want that. We'd rather have the snow. Tuesday into Wednesday, temperatures will start to drop again. Wednesday with the high right around 23 degrees, but then Thursday and the Friday, we'll be back into those low to mid-30s, a little bit above average then. Wind speeds out there right now with this system passing by the coast. We're going to see pretty calm winds out there. Lots of zeros on the board right now. A north wind right around 6 miles per hour here in Bangor. Going into tomorrow morning, that's when those northwest winds will really kick in after that front passes through, and we'll be seeing gusts near 25 miles per hour for tomorrow afternoon. So here's what the radar looks like out there right now. Some snow early on in the eastern portions of the state that is now out of our area, and we're having this new system move just south of the coast. We're starting to see some snow accumulate just north of that rain, and then going into tonight, that's when that snow is really going to be making its way here into our region. So we can already see much of the southwestern portion of the state right around 9 o'clock for tonight making its way in. And once we get right around midnight, a little bit past that 1 a.m., most of south central Maine and the coastal regions will be seeing that snow. We'll be seeing right around 1 to 3 inches possible with those heavier amounts definitely by the coastline due to the help of the moisture with the ocean just nearby. All right, so going into tomorrow morning, you see those decreasing clouds right around 6:30 and going into right around 8 a.m. That's when we have that possibility of hitting those upper single digits. digits. Mostly sunny skies for tomorrow, and then going to tomorrow night, that's when it's going to be very, very cold because very clear skies out there. We will be in the negatives, looks like for Saturday night into Sunday morning. Lows tonight, though, right around 8 degrees, mostly cloudy with that snow mainly south, but it'll be in south central Maine as well. Winds will be from the north right around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow's highs right around 20 degrees, mostly sunny skies, but breezy winds out there making it feel a lot colder than it really is from the northwest, gusting near 25 miles per hour. Here's a look at our extended forecast. Dry this weekend, increasing clouds coming Sunday though, and that'll be bringing some snow Sunday night and then changing to rain and snow for Monday with those highs right around 39 degrees, and then we'll be back right around freezing on Tuesday with partly cloudy skies. Beth and Devin.
Alrighty, thank you so much, and there is still more to come.
It's hard work to recover, whether it's from drugs or losing your child.
Hey, Mom. Say hi.
Michael lived to make people laugh.
Love you. Talk to you tomorrow, hopefully.
Everyone has a solution that's never been in that situation before. I honestly did not see a change until I got myself help. How can we tell somebody to get help if we're not willing to get help ourselves?
Do you have a wet basement, nasty crawl space, settling foundation, sinking concrete, or clogged gutters? I'm Tony Hafford with TC Hafford Basement Systems, all things basement-y. For over 30 years, thousands of homeowners throughout Maine and southeastern New Hampshire have trusted TC Hafford. Basement waterproofing, crawl space repair, stabilizing foundations, concrete leveling, and gutter installation. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems for all things basement-y.
When you're ready to tackle your next building project, depend on the knowledge and experience of Hammond Lumber Company. Hammond's Home Planning Center will turn your ideas into accurate conceptual drawings, and 3D visualization is available. Your Hammond sales rep will prepare a materials list and cost estimate. And when you buy all of your materials from them, Hammond will refund all of your design fees. Hammond can deliver your order from any of their 22 locations across Maine and New Hampshire. Hammond Lumber Company, your building project partner since 1953.
Welcome to Residential Roofers, your trusted local contractor for over 30 years. From groundwork to roofing, siding, windows, and doors, we've been transforming homes and businesses with premium craftsmanship and materials. We understand the value of your investment. That's why we're committed to your complete satisfaction, whether it's enhancing curb appeal or improving functionality. Ready to bring your vision to life? Call us today for a no-obligation free estimate at 991-1502. Trust your home to Residential Roofers.
Netflix's popular but deadly game show is returning this summer. The streaming platform says Squid Game Season 3 is set to premiere on June 27th. Photos from the upcoming season tease the return of the show's hero and his main foe, the frontman. Netflix says the next season will pick up straight where Season 2's dramatic finale concluded. The company reports the previous season debuted with a record-breaking 68 million views and hit the #1 spot for non-English TV shows in 92 countries. The show's creator says the third season will also be Squid Game's last.
When a member of UMaine's Sigma Phi Epsilon fraternity found out a fellow brother was struck by a tragedy, they rallied together to support him. A few months ago, UMaine student Grady Galbel was diagnosed with stage 3A metastatic cancer, putting his college career on pause and landing him and his family with costly medical bills. His fellow fraternity brothers started a GoFundMe that took off on social media, raising over $20,000 in just a matter of days. Sigma Phi Epsilon members say it shows some of the good that Greek life can do.
This community definitely can come together when they need to. I think I knew every single chapter reposted it that's at the University of Maine. And it was really special to see. No, it was great to see like the whole community come behind. Like it was people that I didn't even know that were posting this stuff on Instagram.
Gobiel is in his last week of chemotherapy, and his fraternity brothers say his prognosis is good.
Yeah, that is a great sense of community right there, you know, and, you know, for it to hit someone so young, it's tragic that anyone has to deal with it, but somebody who's just starting out to, you know, to have to confront that kind of challenge, it's nice to see that there was support.
Absolutely, it's great, just everybody getting together to help that one guy.
Indeed. All right, folks, that's going to do it for us. Take care and good night.
We'll see you later.
I slipped and fell on some ice in a parking lot.
Slip and fall? Make the call to Main.
You got a security job, and I needed to carry a gun for work. I'm licensed to carry and was saving for a gun when he offered to loan me his. Around the same time, I purchased a laptop. That was in July. That's what you just swore to. You just told me a minute ago you only lived there in June.
But what I'm saying is I had moved back home. We were on and off because he was had of infidelity. He was sleeping with his baby mother.
How much did you give her for the laptop?
$400.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $400. We're done.
Excuse me, step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
My opinion's the only one that counts.
You came over there, you was waving that gun, and them go bust your across the head. That's what happened.
No, I wasn't waving it around. I was returning his gun, which he's an felon, by the way.
You came over there, you weren't returning no gun, first of all, because I never gave you a gun.
A felon, so he's not supposed to have a gun.
I'm not supposed to have a gun, exactly.
He called me over there to bring the gun, and that's when I got hit in the mouth.
You came over there, how can you get hit when you got a gun in your hand?
Because he set me up to get hit in the mouth, and I have a permanent scar, but...
You got the gun in your hand, and you talking about I set you up to get hit, which I took you to the hospital that night, Victoria.
By his ex-girlfriend.
She could say anything.
Because I was arguing with him.
I'm going to put a restraining order on her. That's what I'm going to do.
I mean, I have nothing to say to him.
This is Fox 22 News Tonight.
President Trump's plan to reduce the federal workforce by providing large severance buyouts is facing sharp criticism from some Maine labor unions. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones.
And I'm Devin Dagnall. Union leaders have warned their members to be cautious in considering such offers. Our Augusta reporter Corey Bouchard has the story.
Well, the Trump administration doesn't have is not authorized to do this. This is illegal.
Andy O'Brien is the communications director for Maine AFL-CIO, one of the state's largest workers' union. He's talking about the emails sent out to millions of federal employees, giving them an option to resign and continue being paid through September, with some exceptions for military personnel, postal workers, immigration enforcement, or national security employees.
Really, this is just an effort to push out,